Hello. Okay. Okay. Hi guys. I haven't done a podcast in a really long time, but today I'm here with Sydney.
Hi guys.
And today we're going to be talking about something a little vulnerable today because one thing that me and Sydney share is that we both experienced grief in our 20s. But my mom died in April this year.
And my sister passed away in May 2022, I think. All becomes a blur for me. Maybe one day it will for you too.
But we have experienced a lot at the age that we're at. So I feel like experiencing grief at this age is a very unique experience. And I feel like once you're going through it, it really does bring comfort talking to people who actually get it. So if you're watching this and you have lost someone, this is for you. We're going to be talking about a couple things today, but less about how things happened and more so how grief has affected us now. But we're both, I'm 22, you're 23. Yeah, so we're still babies.
Yes.
But the first topic that I wrote down, at least, was when your sister passed away, what would you say are the worst things to say to someone who has just lost a family member?
I think that's awkward.
It's okay.
For me. I think that when I lost my sister, I didn't even know what I wanted to hear people say. And I honestly still feel like I really would rather someone not say anything at all almost. Just because I think that what we experienced is hard. There's no comforting word that actually does the trick. All the prayers and sending love and all that, it's a sweet gesture, but I think that often there's nothing really that actually helps. But I feel like definitely I struggle to this day with people, and I know we've mentioned this before, people saying I've been I understand what you're going through. I lost my grandpa. I'm sure your grandpa was great. But I think that that's really hard, just to be like, oh yeah, and then it turns into a thing where I'm so sorry for your loss. I don't know if that's how it goes for you, but that's kind of how it has gone for me. And I think that it's hard to try to have a conversation about my sister with someone attempting to relate to it, even if their intentions are good in that way, because the normal cycle of life is very, very different, lifetimes different than something as tragic as we experienced. And the loss that we've navigated is not something normal that comes with time. It's something horrific that no one at our point in life should ever have to experience. So I think that people trying to relate to us, although I often, almost all the time, read that the intention is of trying to be nice, I think that has been the biggest thing that I've really hated during this time. I don't know how you feel about that, but
I hated it when people would be like, I can't imagine what you're going through.
Yeah.
Because no fucking shit,
No.
You can't imagine
We can't
what
even.
I'm going through.
Yeah.
Or people would just be like, she's in a better place now.
No.
Or just shit like that. But the condolences and I feel like I appreciated it the most when people took the time. My friend Hui commented on my post about my mom and was like what a beautiful thing that she allowed you the space to be as outgoing and vibrant as you are. And I was like, that's really nice to say. This shit like that.
Yeah.
Where it's they actually put effort into what to say to you than a very generic oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously it is an uncomfortable situation for people to like figure out what to say when someone's grieving, because it can be hard to find the right things to say. But like, I just think the effort that people put to send love like really showed, and I feel like that I really appreciated.
Yeah.
But I remember I had someone just text me like, "I'm sorry for your loss," and that's all they said, and I was like, okay, thank you.
Okay, automated response.
Yeah, so that was a little, and that was someone that I had known for a couple years too, so I was kind of just like, but I feel like the people who I considered to really be my friends, like, really came out when my mom died, because they were doing more than just the bare minimum. But yeah.
Yeah, I also would love when people shared like happy memories with my sister. Like, I love, to this day, I love telling stories and hearing stories about my sister. And I think that that's a testament to, you know, how much of a light she was, and, like, people that care about my sister or my family or me. I could really tell that when a lot of love and care was put into a message, like, hearing people talk about, like, happy, like, sweet memories with my sister, I always loved to hear that, too.
Yeah. Okay. Handling inconveniences or milestones.
Do you want to go first on this one? Because Nav has been experiencing lots of milestones in her life recently.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I feel like my mom passing away was really not like the sole reason, but like one of the reasons why I took the initiative to start putting out music. Because I was like, life is too short, like, fuck it, like, I need something that I'm passionate about to, like, really, like, shift my mind to. But I started dropping music this year, and, like, with that came, like, music video drops, and, like, my first performance as, like, an artist, and, like, just, like, mini milestones like that I'm like, damn, my mom would be so stoked to, like, see me do this stuff. And, like, it was crazy because my mom died right before our graduation, and, like, I would be texting her about, like, the graduation, and so it was, like, weird to, like, go through all that and, like, not have her there, and just, like, going, like, the thing is, though, like, when I think of, like, going through it, I'm like, fuck, it's gonna be so hard, like, my mom, like, isn't there to be there for it. But then, like, I'll go through it, and, like, I do still feel like she is, like, there in a sense, but in a completely different way. It's obviously not the same, but it's like, I don't feel like my mom is, like, completely gone. But I do feel like grief tends to hit me the most when I kind of reach those milestones, because usually I'm, like, surrounded by people. But the day of the performance, I was by myself the whole day before I came to, like, the venue, and, like, I was literally sitting on my couch, and I was like, damn, like, if only my mom saw what I was, like, up to right now, because, like, I have my dad, but it's just not the same, you know what I mean? And, like, my mom was my biggest fan for so many things that it's like she would kind of be my go-to person to, like, show her, like, a new photo shoot, or, like, if I ever felt pretty, I would send her a selfie, and she would be like, you look beautiful, like, just shit like that. So it kind of sucks that I don't have kind of, like, that go-to support person anymore, but it's, like, I think I'm still very thankful that I have chosen family around me that has been supporting me through everything, but not having, like, the foundation of who I am and why I'm doing everything that I'm doing here, it definitely feels like there's a large piece of me missing, but it's also a great motivator as to why I feel like I need to keep leveling up, because my mom would want me to. But yeah, it's crazy because 2025 was, like, such a drastic year of change and, like, steps to becoming an adult. But it's like my mom was taken away from me right before, like, I was, like, shoved into adulthood. I feel like my mom dying, like they, like, kicked me and pushed me and spit on me as I was entering adulthood.
Slammed the door behind you.
Literally
like,
slammed the door behind me. Exactly. Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah. That was so well said. It was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
I think that, like, my sister passed away right before I went to film school. And I think that my sister was so creative and so just cool and amazing, and she inspired me in so many ways. But I think that she had a lot to do with my decision to take the risk also to enter that world. And deciding to go to film school, I had so many lifestyle changes around that time, before and after. And I think that for me personally, what I'm really anticipating is like, I haven't even really faced the worst milestones that I wish my sister was there for.
What do you mean?
Like for me, like I think about like when it's my turn to host Christmas, and like my children like are gonna want to know like, oh, like do like an aunt, you know, like or like when it comes time to take care of my parents, you know, like these are things that even though me and my sister had like a very tumultuous relationship, I knew that we were going to lean on each other for those things. And regardless of how well we got along or not in her teenage years, I knew that we were going to really be each other's like rock for those things. It's not an easy thing to navigate, and like watching my parents navigate those things with their siblings. So like I think that although like my college graduation and you know like the things I've done with my career, or trying to do with my career, of course I wish my sister was there to see that, but like really I'm anticipating like in like 10-20 years like it's gonna be a whole other version of grief that I'm gonna have to face when, you know, my friends are gonna be living their lives, like starting their families with their siblings by their side, and like that is something that I'll have to think about that I could have had, but I can't anymore. And I also think that that's different than like being born an only child and like being prepared to do that like as you grow up. But you know, I think that like every birthday I have, like I think about my sister so much. But I definitely think that like the holidays when I'm older are gonna be a bitch. Like I'm anticipating that, definitely.
Yeah, no, because I'm technically an only child. And like my parents were older, so it was like, okay, I'm the only child. I'm prepared to like do this, and I'm prepared to lose my parents like earlier than everybody else. But I have a half sister that's like 16 years older than me. We have different dads, but we have the same mom. So it's like, I think she has really fully stepped into that. Like she realized that she kind of had to take this motherly role for me because like no one else was gonna do it. But honestly, like if I didn't have my sister while going through my mom's death like that, I don't know what would, like, I don't even know what I would be doing right now, TBH. But I feel like having, like, it's just, I feel like also going through this made me realize how much I really do want to have kids and have, like, multiple kids. Because I do feel like that having a family is so important. Even though, like, I wasn't super close to my family, but, like, just having blood people is really important, I think. But well said. How you view a rocky relationship after the fact they passed?
I think that
to preface, we both did not have perfect relationships with our sister and our moms before they passed away.
And I think that that is something that isn't talked about as much with grief. I think that, of course, I think it's really common to experience like guilt after they pass away, like wishing that things went about things a little bit differently. But I think just like more so, I feel like guilt is like especially in something like this, is a wasted emotion. Where like I know that they wouldn't want us to feel guilty. Like I know my sister, I know your mom would not want us to feel guilty about the way our relationships were, and rather like reflect on that, and the way we were. And I feel like with me and my sister, we're complete opposites, like going throughout our entire lives. I always was so confused by her taste and the way she dressed, and I like couldn't understand or wrap my head around it. And like at the same time she thought I was the most boring girl in the world, and she hated all my music and the way I dressed and everything. And like I think that like reflecting on that is so funny, because I've also mentioned to Nav where I feel like I've become so much more like my sister since she passed away. And I think that there's so much that we have in common that like I wish I could share with her now, but I feel like I still sort of am in a way.
You feel like if she was still alive, you guys would be closer?
Definitely.
If you guys got older?
Yeah, I think that we would be like best friends if she was here. Which is interesting to think about. And I also wonder, like, if she passed, like, would I be like this, or would I still be boring? Like, I think that I adopted so many great parts of her, and it felt like it shows me, like, I didn't feel like I chose to change in these ways. Like, I feel like I'm living like half of her life and half of mine, like enough for the both of us. I think that like I would rather, like, instead of feeling guilty or upset about the fact that we could not stand each other for like maybe 80% of our time, I think that I like to like live my life like honoring her.
Yeah.
Which I didn't do much of when she was here, and I wish so badly that I did. But I think that she would not want me to like be upset about that or wish things were different.
Right. It's funny because I feel like my mom would be like, I told you so.
Yeah.
I told you so.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my mom, well, there was obviously that generational gap, but there was also that cultural gap. And my mom had me a lot later in her life. She was 39 when she had me, and my dad was 48. So they were both like adults when they had me, but I was still an accident. So it was like they were prepared to take care of me financially, but not like, I guess not really emotionally. But I feel like with my mom, it was like we got along when I was more in like high school, but I feel like once I started going to college and going through like heartbreaks and stuff, every time I would come home, I would just be a little bit different and a little bit off. And I was the type of daughter to like, if my mom was like, oh, how was your day? I would be super annoyed. I'd be like, the fuck do you want to know about my day? Like, I would just be super like irritated every time my mom like tried to talk to me. And like me naturally with my friends, I feel like I'm a little bit of a playful mean. But, like, I feel like being around my family just made me... I didn't like how I was around my family because I just felt like I was mean. But that's because I just had a lot of frustrations with the way that I was raised and, like, just the way that, like, they think. So I feel like that translated into the way that I acted around them. But I feel like with my mom, it was like, of course I love my mom. Like, that's my mom. She's done everything for me. And obviously I can have disagreements with the way that she thinks and the way that she goes about things, but I feel like after she's passed, it's kind of like, obviously I feel like this deep guilt of like not being a better daughter to her, but I felt like I was kind of growing up to that point where like I was like getting over my bratty teenage phase and like starting to go into like adulthood where I could start to appreciate the things that my mom did for me, or like kind of just like not hold as much as a grudge as I did in high school and like just be friends with my mom, because I felt like me and my mom could not really spend time with each other one-on-one without like me getting like super like annoyed. But after she's passed, I think one of the biggest things that like I started to realize, especially after like watching old videos of like me and her when I was like a toddler, was like realizing how much she loved me, like, just as, like, a daughter. Like, I will watch, like, the VHS camcorder tapes of, like, me, like, just being a cute little baby, and how she's just so fixated on, like, me, and, like, taking care of me, and, like, just making sure I had the best time. And I'm like, she has done that for me throughout my whole life. And, like, obviously, like, I can't get mad at myself for being a brat, but also, like, I was a brat. But I feel like I can look back at that now and be like, yeah, my behavior was, I was just a freaking bratty teenager, you know what I mean? Like, but, like, I look back at it now, and it does suck that I'm able to, like, appreciate what my mom did for me, but after the fact that she's gone. And I also feel like one of my friends start complaining about their moms around me now. I'm kind of just like...
Yeah. I have a hard time when people complain about their siblings to me.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, if...
Yeah, if only.
I used to be like that. Like,
yeah.
I would complain about my mom all the time, but now it's just like... Y'all are just lucky to have a fucking mom in the first place.
You take it for granted, definitely.
You really do take it for granted, and it really sucks because, like, I do wish me and my mom were a lot closer when I was growing up, but I just feel like it was just hard. But it's funny because my sister and I were going through her phone. My sister was going through her phone, and my sister found, like, this note on her phone that she had typed about me and how I've changed, and how she was like, you've come home, but it doesn't really feel like you're here, and, like, I just really hope that, like, you're okay. And, like, she typed this in her notes, like a little journal entry, and then my sister sent it to me. This was after she passed away. My sister sent this to me, and I was like, reading that, like, made my heart, like, sink to my stomach, and I was like, I don't like how this is, like, making me feel right now. Like, this is... Because, like, I'm so mean to my mom, but the thing is with my family is they never call me out for being mean. Like, they just let me be mean. So, like, seeing what my mom actually thought about the way that I was acting was, like, so trippy, especially because it was after the fact that she passed away. But that sucks because it was, like, after a breakup, and I was like... It's so stupid that a freaking boy was making me, like, act like that, and, like, my mom thinks that it has something to do with her, but it's, like, it's nothing to do with her. But, yeah.
I also think one more thing about that is, like, the relationship between you and your mom that you described through those, like, tumultuous, like, teenage years, like, you're transitioning in life, like, that's something that every teenage girl deals with their mom, and, like, that dynamic is so common, and it's often something that is grown out of, but because of you losing your mom, you look back on it in such a different way than if she was still here. You guys would look back on it and giggle about it together one day. But I think I feel the same way with me and my sister. The way we were, this was something we would look back on as it's almost funny, but the context is completely different. Since we've lost those people, we don't have a chance for it to, like, change, turn around. Like, that's the time that we were left with, and I think that it's really a hard pill to swallow sometimes.
I think it's also too because for both of us it was super unexpected.
Yeah,
it was literally like,
yeah,
and, like, I feel like we both didn't really get a chance to, like, get closure in any way because it just, like, happened, and we were both like, oh
yeah,
like, super drastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I think I know my mom well, and I know she'd be super proud of everything that I'm doing and everything that I've been up to, but if only she knew the things that have happened, at least within my family since she's passed, like, I just feel like she would have a kick out of, like, knowing all, like, the drama and everything.
My sister too would die to know everything that's been going on.
Exactly. So I don't know, it's really weird, but also at the same time I, like, still feel like my mom, like, I feel my mom everywhere.
Yeah,
like, I don't know about you, but
I do feel my sister everywhere, definitely.
The next point I have is talking to a partner about grief.
I think that opening up specifically to romantic partners about the loss that you've experienced, I think in general I have more often than not, like, made my partners extremely uncomfortable.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I think that, like, I think that trying to, when I tell the story about my sister, when I explain to them, like, where my life is at now after losing my sister, I think that it's often like a failed attempt of empathy. But I think that it's tough, definitely. And I think also it's hard to relate lifestyles to a partner because of my family situation now after losing my sister. You know, it's like really small things, but
Do you usually bring it up, or do they ask about it?
I usually bring it up first.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I have trouble with that.
Yeah. For me, I've shared with you a little bit about when people ask me, like, oh, do you have any siblings? Like, it's the worst possible way to enter that conversation. So usually I try to start with, like, family, and then I, like, kind of introduce it, because I'd rather it be on my terms when I explain the situation, because it's just an uncomfortable conversation, and often I feel like they're more uncomfortable than I am when I talk about it, which is, like, always strange, and, like, then I feel bad, and I'm like, wait, I shouldn't feel bad, like,
yeah. No, like, I feel like I have just trouble in general bringing things up about myself. So when it comes to, like, talking about my mom dying, at least the people that I've been, not that I'm talking to hella people, but, like, the people that I have talked to after my mom died, like, I've never had a conversation with them about it because I don't bring it up.
Yeah.
But I also feel like these people follow me on Instagram and they can see that.
Yeah.
But they are too scared to, like, bring it up, which is, like, I get it, I guess. But also, like, it's such a big part of my life now that it's, like... But also, I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, also, like, my mom died. Because then I just hate... I hate talking to people about it and they don't know how to respond. Like, I don't ever want to, like, put anyone in that, like, situation where they feel like they have to comfort me, because I don't want to be comforted.
Me either.
Like, just listen to me, you know what I mean? And, like, you don't need to, like, fix it for me, because, bitch, I'm gonna be depressed for the rest of my life over this. Like, there's nothing you can say that could possibly make me feel better about it. But you can listen to me and, like, not treat me like... You know what I mean?
Yes.
But, like, I feel like when my mom died, I was, like, not loosely. I was talking to someone when my mom died, and we were not actually dating yet. And I was like, it's like, when your mom dies and you're in a freaking situationship, it's like you want someone to be there for you as a partner, but they're not your actual partner, so you don't want to, like, throw that obligation on them to, like, hey, can you, like, be there for me?
Yeah.
So it was, like...
That's cursed situation.
It felt a little cursed because, like, I really wanted someone... God forbid I want someone to go out of their way to really be there for me, but, like, it just was, like, I didn't want to ask for that because they weren't my partner.
Yeah.
And, like, not to say that they weren't there for me, because they were, but I just felt like I realized in that moment I need more from someone that I'm talking to than just, like, talking about it over FaceTime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think if I had gone through my mom's death with an actual partner, I feel like that could have made things, like, having that support would have been really helpful, but kind of just went through it by myself with my family. Kind of hated that I was thinking about that while my mom was dying instead of just focusing on, like, my mom dying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
When my sister passed, I hadn't ever dated before, and I began dating much after that happened, and, like, trying to explain to my first partner, like, where I was at, what I was feeling like. It was really hard to feel like they were genuinely invested in like my mourning and like my grief, I feel like that really turned me off to getting into it deeper with future partners, because I felt that it was almost not used against me, but I felt that there were times that they felt like they were a great partner because of like the way they would try to comfort me, because it would come up a lot or sometimes, and I found that it almost it kind of, they at times would kind of treat me like I was like this fragile kind of like little baby. I don't know how to really describe it.
I get what you're saying. Being a spokesperson for them.
I definitely think that this is something I've dealt with the most, like in my family. Because
why do you feel like that role fell onto you though?
I think that no one understood my sister. And I think that her friends understood her. She spent a lot of time with her. She had wonderful friends. But in my family, no one in my family understood my sister. And when she was here, I was trying so hard to understand her. I was on my way. But I think that I've spent so much time reflecting on her life, the choices she made, and the mindset she always had. I feel like no one else can advocate for her the way I am able to. And even now, I'm sure she's like, Sydney, like, why the fuck did you do that? Like, I know for a fact she probably has those moments, but I'm trying my best, because I know that no one in my family understood my sister, understood her choices, why she was the way she was. But like, when I reflect back on everything about her, like, it makes perfect sense to me. Like, I know why I have no questions for her. Like, she did her thing. And I think that, like, when it comes to me advocating for her, it would be something as simple as, like, her journals. Like, when my parents found her journals, like, I took them from them. And
after she passed away?
Yeah.
They found her journals?
Yeah. Well, like, we were cleaning out her room, you know?
Did they read them?
I didn't let them.
Did you?
No. There was some, like, art journals with drawings that I let them have. But I didn't let them, like, go through her laptop or her journals, because we had a conversation about, like, she would actually rather do anything than my parents ever read her journals, which I think a lot of girls her age would feel the same way. And I completely understand in my specific situation why my parents wanted to read them, because they couldn't understand. And they couldn't understand my sister's lifestyle or her. And, like, so I understand the intention behind that, but I knew that it was up to me to, like, really stand my ground on that, because I know that that's what she would want.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of small things like that, when my sister comes up, I feel like I know exactly, I know that I'm not always 100% correct, but I know what she would say. And I try to do what I can, because I didn't advocate for her while she was here. So I definitely think that I have always had to step in and clarify things for my family. Right. Definitely.
Yeah, I feel like my mom was the oldest of 4 siblings. I feel like she inevitably had to take on the caretaker role for everyone and, like, be that older sibling. But I do feel like my mom got taken advantage of a lot, because she was always so willing to give, and, like, her hospitality was just, like, over the roof. Like, my mom just made everyone feel very safe. But I remember when she was alive, I would always tell her, like, she needs to be a lot meaner to people, and, like, she can say no to doing things, like, just shit like that. And I remember for my speech for her at her funeral, I, like, mentioned that a lot of people in my family didn't realize that they were kind of taking advantage of her, and that, like my mom was a way better person than I was, because she was willing to, like, put others before herself. And I feel like I can be a little bit more selfish, but I wish that my mom was more selfish so she could actually be happy. So I feel like it was just shit like that I would kind of advocate for. But I remember, this is very specific, but at her funeral, they wanted to take a group picture in front of her casket with her face showing. And I am like standing there crying. I'm like, bro, I don't want to be taking a picture with my mom's dead face in the background. Like, you could literally see her face. And I was telling the people who kept trying to take the picture, I was like, I don't want my mom's face in this. I don't want to see a picture of her in her casket. Like, I don't want to do this. And I was already crying. So, like, me saying this, I started getting even more mad, to the point where I was like, I don't want to take this picture. Like, this doesn't need to be happening. Like, this doesn't, like, I don't want this to be happening. This is disrespectful. And then they respected my wishes, but what we ended up doing was just, like, covering her. But everyone still took a picture in front of the casket. But I was like, bro, this is, like, if I die, do not be taking pictures with me in my casket. I do not want the public to see what I'm looking like in my coffin, bro. Like, that
I don't want any sort of open casket situation, personally. I didn't, like, I think there was, like, a brief viewing for my sister, and I did not attend, because I think that, like, my personal opinion.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't.
That's
my parents were, like, kind of confused, but I personally was like, I have a memory of my sister, and I want it to stay the way it was. Like, alive, laughing, having fun.
This is the last point I have, but if you have more, feel free to add. But your relationship with your family now.
My parents got divorced a couple years before my sister passed, and I became extremely close with my dad because I was living with him. Like, me and my sister were living with him. My mom is wonderful. I love my mom so much, but, like, it was the three of us living together. And when my sister passed away, like, I did feel like I got a bit closer with my mom, but really, like, me and my dad, like, leaned on each other, like, heavy. Like, I relied on my dad for everything. We would hang out every single day. We would shop at the same stores. Like, I would borrow clothes out of his closet. Like, he would take me everywhere because I didn't get my license till I was, like, way too old. Like, he would do everything for me, and we did everything together. And we really, like, relied on each other super heavily during that time. Like, it was almost to a point, like, we were, like, siblings. Like, we would argue like siblings, like me and my dad would. And my dad's 65. Mm-hmm. So it was, like, a very funny dynamic. And, like, all my friends that know my dad love my dad, and he's wonderful. But, I relied on him so much. And then, my dad got remarried. And, like, that was crazy because it was not something that I had expected at all. And, like, it was also something that I wish so badly my sister was there to support me through, because that was such a crazy adjustment. And, like, my stepmom is amazing and I adore her, but, like, that adjustment was super difficult, and I feel like it really placed a strain on my relationship with my dad, which I had relied on him so heavily for so many years prior to that. And I think that, like, navigating that on my own really, like, taught me independence to a fault, I think, even. But I definitely think that I love both my parents, and they're so wonderful, but I definitely think that, like, the way they both went about taking care of me, like, after my sister passed, like, was less than ideal. But I find that I absolutely cannot blame them for the way they went about that, because that's nothing that a parent should ever experience. But it's also, like, that's nothing that, like, a sister should experience either.
Yeah.
But, like, I look at my parents and I, like, see two, like, wonderful people that are also giving life their first try, and I think that it tested my family a lot. And I think that, like, all of my relatives, like, kind of look at us like, oh, like, they've been through the shitter, like, look at them. But, like, I think that we really pushed through. Like, I think that me and my dad and my stepmom, we are great. We live together, and, like, me and my mom are wonderful, and I love my family. And I think that it was really, really difficult, because I think that we just had to navigate this thing that, like, no family should ever in a million years ever have to go through. And I think that you look at you look at your family differently after you experience something like that. Like, damn, like, I'm really lucky to have you.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, losing someone like that, like, really makes you think about who you have around you. Like, you really gotta hold them close. Like, everyone says that, but, like,
yeah.
I adored my parents, but, like, after my sister passed away, I was like, the day my parents die, you gotta take me with them. Like, literally, I can't do it.
Yeah.
That's personally how I feel. Like, I really, like, I just adore my family. I'm so attached to them now.
Yeah, I feel like my mom passing away made me and my sister a lot closer, because it was like when there would be moments where I would be like crying over my mom, I'd be like, I can talk to my sister about it, like she gets it. And like she doesn't have to try to make me feel better. Like I can just tell her that I feel like that I'm missing my mom today, and then she'll just like she'll understand. And like I like that there was like no pressure for her to like try to console me, you know what I mean? It was just like I just want my sister to know, because like she gets it. But it was like with my dad, at least, like I feel like me and my dad tackle emotions a lot differently, because I feel like my dad is a little bit more avoidant, in the sense where he's like, okay, we all just went through something traumatic, I'm gonna go move to the Philippines. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like I can't be mad, because it's like I love my dad so much, and I want him to like the things that I would tell my mom about, like I wish that she was more selfish, like that's what my dad is doing. And I only want the best for my dad, and if he thinks that he's going to be more happy over there, then all power to him. Like I think I got really not lucky, but I'm just like glad that I wasn't like a child when this happened, because if I was a child and like my dad left, like I literally would have no one, you know what I mean? But like I feel like since I was 21 when it happened, like I have a good head on my shoulders, like I can be an adult without my dad being here. But it's still just like, damn, dad, like we went through that together, and like you don't want to hang out with me in LA, you know what I mean? But it's like after losing my mom, I don't have the energy to like hold grudges at my dad anymore. And it's like, you know, if that's what's gonna make you happy, then like I just want you to be happy. And my dad knows that I love him, I know that my dad loves me, but it's like we're just not like, me and my dad were always close, but we're not like, it's just not the same anymore. And like that's fine. And like I did not think at the beginning of this year that my mom would die and my dad would move to the Philippines, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I think I'm adjusting to like being fully independent. And again, like I'm so lucky that I have like my half sister, because if I didn't have her, I would like truly be alone, like genuinely be like a fucking orphan. And now that the holidays are coming up, I'm like,
I feel like a total orphan during the holidays. Like I always make the joke every year.
It sucks.
It's an orphan Christmas this year.
It literally is an orphan Christmas. And I do feel like going through my mom's death has made me subconsciously start to prepare for when like I lose my dad, or I lose my sister, or I lose anyone else around me. Because it's like you do kind of have to be prepared for that shit when it happens. Obviously emotionally you can never truly prepare for that, but I mean like logistically you need to be prepared for that. And that's something that I learned from my mom's death, I think. And it's just like I feel like that is also what kind of shoved me into adulthood, because it was like, learn how to plan your mom's funeral, learn how to deal with all your mom's legal shit after she passes, like credit cards and stuff. Like no one talks about that, like dealing with your freaking dead mom's credit cards and all of her fucking just everything that she had life shit going on, like we still had to deal with after she left.
Yeah.
So it's like going through shit like that. But I think when my mom passed, it was really much like my dad, me, and my sister, like all three of us like trying to like get shit done. And again, if it was just me, I do not know what I would do. But I think I got, you know, even though she's not my full sister, like I still got really lucky that I have an older sister figure who is 16 years older than me, 15 years older than me, and like she can kind of help me navigate things that my mom would have helped me navigate. But at the same time, I also have to be there for her because she just lost her mom too. And like, even though she's older, like, doesn't mean that, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's really tricky, but I do feel like my mom's death brought me and my sister closer, and I feel like it has made me more comfortable to tell my dad that I really love him. Because one thing about my family, we do not say I love you to each other unless it's like on Facebook or something. But like in person, we were not very like affectionate with each other, which is probably why I kind of struggled to be affectionate with people in my life. But yeah,
that's a problem for another day.
That's a problem for another day. Yeah, but it's crazy how, at least for my like immediate family, it has affected us. But I feel like with my other family, that's also another problem for another day. But yeah, I think it sucks that we are in our 20s going through this. Well, you were 19? No, you were 20.
I was
2022, you were 20.
I was 20. Yeah. I was like going into my second year of college, or it was like midway through my second year. Like I was deciding where to transfer. Like right. It was such a formative time in my life, and I was already dealing with enough.
Right.
And I think that like us losing those people at the time in our lives that we did lose them, I think that it like forced us to like, I personally, like, my life and I changed in every way, like, when that happened. Like, I like, immediately, I feel like I was completely different, and my life was completely different, and things could never go back to the way they were after that happened, whether you like it or not. And I think that, like, our ability to adapt to that, and, like, I was witness to you being in school, you're graduating, your mom is passing away, you're dealing with a breakup, you're editing your thesis, and this and that, and, like, I was like, and you were like, yeah, type shit, and I was just like, and, like, that is exactly how I handled it, too. Like, my parents had to beg me to take a day off of work when my sister passed. Yeah. I didn't want to, because I felt like making it a thing, I was scared of making it a thing. But it is the biggest thing ever. And, like, yeah. I remember I was so scared of, like, letting it set in. It's like, I gotta go. I have things to do.
The world literally does not
stop. The world
stops.
Keeps turning, exactly. Bro. Like, you do not have a choice. And I think that, like, I could not get back to all my stuff fast enough. Like, I was, like, dying to get back to everything. Because I was so nervous about what it was going to feel like to just sit and, like, miss school, miss assignments, miss work. I literally did not even tell my workplace why I had stayed home from work that day, because I didn't want it to be a thing.
That's crazy.
And I think that I'm like that in, like, so many ways now. Like, I'm just like, let's lock in and let's get back to it. Like, shit happens. Like, I feel like I was not like that before my sister passed, but my outlook on those things, like, completely changed.
When you're, like, going through things like that, are you the type to kind of go hermit mode, or do you feel like you're really well communicative with everyone?
I'm on, like, if I have something hard happen in my life, like, I'm on a friendship world tour. Like, I have 5 jobs. I'm, like, back in school. I'm doing this. I'm getting tattoos. I'm, like,
keeping yourself busy.
So busy. Like, I remember, like, I was working a lot when my sister passed, but, like, when I had my first breakup, I was literally working, like, an illegal amount. Like, I would literally pick up every possible shift ever, and, like, I was trying to get a second job, and, like, the more shifts I picked up, like, that's just how my mind always was, and I think that's always how I will feel.
You're a Virgo.
That's what I've been told, yes.
No, I feel like when I was going through everything, like, I was always on my phone. Like, I was, like, telling all my friends what was happening. Or at least, like, my really close friends. Like, I was updating them, telling them what was happening. But, like... And I was, like, still responding to everyone that was, like, texting me. Like, I just feel like I can't, like, keep it all to myself. Like, I need to, like...
That's so interesting.
I need to... And, like, I remember I was posting on my close friend's story, too, like, when it was, like, happening, like, me dancing with my nephews. And I was like, good to know that the way that I cope with shit is, like, talking out of my ass and, like, just coping it with, like, with humor. But, like, I don't... Like, I can't go hermit mode. Like, I feel like I need... I've always just been the type of person, like, I need to let everyone know, what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
Or, like, I can't, like...
Yeah.
Stay quiet about that stuff. But, yeah, I told everyone around me. It's keeping everyone updated. But also, like, I think that's also because I couldn't just sit there and, like...
Yeah.
Not... talk to people, you know what I mean? Because I'm the same where it's like I have to be busy all the time. Because I came back to school after my mom died, but it was during spring break. She died during spring break, so it was like we didn't go back to school yet. So when I went back to school, everyone else was going back to school. Yeah. So it wasn't like I just like left, you know what I mean? But I came back and my dot class like gave me a card and $300. And I was like the amount of love that was shown to me, like, that was something that obviously I'm gonna hold. Like, you giving me gifts and, like, Cassie giving... Like, everyone was just being super nice. And I was like, this is really sweet. This is really, really sweet. And my mom would be super happy. But it's just, like, I could not... Like, I have to be around people. Like, I can't just, like, be... by myself, which is so interesting because I also feel like I'm the type to not reach out when I need help because I don't want to be seen as weak. Yeah. But like when I was going through this, like there was so many things that I was involved in that I had to be like, hey, I can't do this anymore because like my mom is like dying. Yeah.
It's really interesting that you say that like you were updating a lot of people about throughout everything that was happening. It's like the biggest chore of my life was having to tell people that my sister passed away. Oh my God. Like, I hated doing that. Like, I put it off. And, like, so many people that I probably should have told, I just, like, let them find out on their own. Like, I could not bear, like, telling people. It was, like, the biggest inconvenience. For some reason, it just pissed me off so bad to have to tell people, like, oh my God. Like, even my closest best friends, like, God. I, like... telling them anything at all about this is like the biggest inconvenience of my life.
I'm
like,
sure
for some
it
reason.
Was super draining to have to re-explain how it happened.
Oh yeah, I mean like, it's such an uncomfortable thing to happen to us, and it's uncomfortable to tell the story to other people. It makes other people uncomfortable, and I just remember like, my dad would be spending hours like talking to family, calling family, like posting on Facebook. I'm like. Yeah. How could you even bear to do that for 5 minutes? Like, I hated doing that. I hated it. Like, I hated responding to messages. Like, I hated, like, for some reason, like, I still have a hard time responding to, like, condolences, like, when it comes up. Like, my sister's birthday was on the 13th. And, like, I had a couple people text me, like, thinking of you today. And I'm like, I don't know. Like it's so sweet and like I shouldn't react that way and I don't know why I do, but I'm like, don't think of me. Like I don't want to think of me today. Let's just like keep it moving.
Disclaimer: we've gone through some shit, but we're still good people.
Oh yeah, let's actually talk about that really quickly.
Go
as an outro.
Okay, as the outro.
Just because we've had, like, absolutely horrific experiences, like, we're not, like, evil, sinister cheaters or, like, crazy people.
Never let anyone use that as a fucking excuse to be a bitch to you, okay?
No, and don't, like, sympathize with your evil-ass boyfriend. Like, well, his parents got divorced once. We're, like, so nice. If anything, experiencing something like that, I think made me more gentle, made me more giving and patient. If you are, listen to me. If you're watching this right now and you are a crazy person that does fucked up things to people and you've been through some shit, figure it out, man.
Figure it out, twin.
It has nothing to do with what you've been through. I think that people internalize it differently, definitely. But just because we went through something horrible, like the worst thing you could ever imagine, we're still nice and normal. Like, holy, like, I've had my fair share of, like, I think we both have dealt with people, just, like, the worst person ever, and, like, they're, just because your parents don't love each other. Typical Tuesday.
Okay, last thing, message to Liddy. I'll say a message to my mom.
Oh my god. Lydia, I wish you were here to see the fuck shit I'm getting myself into these days. Like, you would love my friends. You would think I'm way cooler than I was. And I know that you would literally, like, send a firing squad to my ex's house, probably. And, like, I just wish... I know you were there watching, being like, oh my god, like, through all these things that I have experienced, I've lived so much life in the past year or two, and like, I could only hope to go about it with the aura that you had, or just a hint of it. Like, I could only dream.
She was an aura farmer.
She was an aura farmer, like, before that was even a thing, bro. Like, she, like, it wasn't even, like, an active farming. Like, she just was aura. Like, she was just, we could only dream of being as cool as Lydia was. 100%.
What was her zodiac sign?
December 13th. What's that?
Sagittarius?
Maybe.
Period.
She was a badass.
December? Oh, shit. Yeah, Sagittarius. Fire.
She was a baddie. I miss you, queen.
Miss you, Lydia. Mom, I'm doing some fuck shit. I know you wouldn't be totally pleased with everything that I'm doing, but I have told you multiple times again that I would figure my shit out, and I'm figuring my shit out, and I do wish you were here to see it, but I feel like as I get older, I start to realize how similar I really am to you. And, you know, growing up, I was really insecure with the way that I looked, but I feel like, again, as I'm getting older, I realize how much I really do look like you, and that I'm okay with that. But, you know, my kids are gonna hear stories about you. Everyone that is going to be in my life from here on out is going to hear stories about you. And I wish that my future partner could meet you, and I wish that my future kids could meet you, but they will only hear stories and see pictures. But I know you will be very pleased with where I end up, because that was always a point I would make, and I'm gonna continue to be a baddie. As fuck. And if you're watching this and you have experienced grief, you're not alone.
You're not alone, and you don't have to apologize for how similar or how different you are feeling than either of us.
Hit me up on Instagram. We'll start a support group.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fire. Do that.
Okay, bye, divas. Thanks for listening if you listen, and thanks for watching.
Love you.
Maybe we'll make another podcast soon. Peace.